Is this the tree?
Yeah.
At about this point...
Laudna's tree?
I think so. I mean, she said it was a giant one in the middle of town.
This is the one.
I walk next to Ashton, who's carrying.
Very tightly holding the package on my back.
How do I say this respectfully? Can I look at the body? Inspect the corpse.
Yeah, okay.
And you watch her, she kind of sprinkles it over this moss. As it does, it begins to glow and swirl. And she brings her hand up and you watch as it kind of trails her like a small wind just kind of pulls it out of her palm. And as she directs it downward, it drifts onto the wounds that are still visible on Laudna's body. And as it rests there for a second, they glow and then just dissipate and dematerialize. Keith nods and stands up. Well, the good news is there's no trace of that toxin, so whoever did this wasn't looking to, at least wasn't prepared to close the loop. So that's good.
Yeah.
She starts helping her out.
Sure.
Laudna is a special case. I mean, obviously, I know how much you know because I'm the one that told you, but she's already been brought back once before.
All
She
right.
came back as something a little different than she was the first time, if that makes sense.
She kind of nods. I'm quite familiar with those who find different paths through fate when they return.
I don't know if that makes things more difficult or less difficult.
I don't either. Complicated. Everything always gets more complicated.
I'm fairly certain that you know our fallen friend we've brought to you today. She hails from this village. You've encountered her before.
He was there as well.
Yes.
Should we just...
She
I'm just gonna put her down.
The tree in the center of town?
And I'm gonna just start pulling the... Might as well just get to it.
Well, she had...
And, yeah. So I'm...
She was brought to a
putting
dinner by
She's unwrapped.
a woman named Delilah.
You see, like, the left eye twitch a bit at the mention of the name. He reaches up and pulls the glasses off his head for a second, just sets them on the desk. Yes?
Hung from that tree in the center of town.
As you kind of pull back and reveal the still cold body of Laudna, he just kind of looks forward and inspects her in silence.
And the strange thing, Lord DeRollo, knowing a good bit of the history within these walls, is that we've been traveling with her for the past few weeks.
It's years for me.
She's a lovely woman, and I can't explain it. But here we are.
It's interesting how these things come together, yes? I'm truly sorry for your friend. I've lost much in my life, both family and ally, to the cruelty of others. And I appreciate you bringing her home to rest.
No. No. Not to rest. Her life was ended by a very evil woman, Odaham Thul.
An enemy of Zephyra. And all good folk.
We were
Laudna.
told you had the ability, you had some connection, something that could bring her back.
He picks his glasses up and puts them on and kind of presses them to the center of his forehead.
Do you have divine magic?
I have little interest in the power of the divine, but it does occasionally serve its purpose. No, I do not have such an ability, and what you ask is certainly no easy task. Death is a certainty of all mortal life, and such powerful magics are rare, costly, and sometimes push against the order of fate itself. Now, why should we undertake such a trial for your friend when so many others fall and are surrendered to dust? Respectfully.
I think, Lord Tarola, because Laudna is a bloom of goodness that has grown out of a history of darkness that deserves to be nourished and grow. And I've learned a lot at home, and I know your story. And I've got to believe that you can see the good in transforming the past.
If every person came to me in this town who lost someone important to them and demanded they be brought back to life, not only would that destroy the order that we all fight so hard to maintain, but it would become an impossibility.
She's not any person. She's special. She was chosen.
Indeed she was. This is a matter that I do not think I should have the power to make a decision on, as I am not the one able to grant this boon. You'll have to speak with the one who can.
You know, the thing about Laudna that's so interesting to me, and I'm an old one, I've seen some things, is she has a very particular skill set in her form. And I can tell from someone that knows detail and how to incorporate them on a large scale. You know the importance of delegating work sets and certain constructs to a larger piece. That way you don't become too overwhelmed. You know, the thing about us, we're focused on one particular thing. And you and Plant Lady before, you guys seem like you have a lot on your plates. Sure would be nice if we could take a little bit off.
Looks over to Gwendolyn, who's in the hallway. Gwendolyn goes, Daddy, they were talking about the moon, and they were talking about all sorts of strange things and people. Yes. Crackpots. No. It helps to be a little crazy.
We've brought home a daughter of Whitestone. One of yours. A very special one of yours.
We need returned.
Yeah, she's not being brought back to rest.
No.
Well, now I think I understand exactly what the ask is. That is an ask. Have you Yes, I've reached out to Pike. Well, good. Hopefully she can sort this out.
Orm tugs on Imogen's sleeve and looks up at her and says, "You can see the resemblance."
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Between who and what?
She was the woman that Laudna was. She's very beautiful. Were you here when the Briarwoods were here?
Yes? What do you know of the Briarwoods?
Only what Laudna told us.
That was a dark time. But look at it now.
Hi, I'm Imogen Laudna. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh.
I'm name is Trickfoot. My name is Orem.
It's really formal.
What do you do around here?
I bake, namely.
Oh, you're a baker.
Yeah. Well,
The
I
Castle
don't do as much as I
Baker?
used to. We have a lot of people running it now. We have a shop down. It's called the Slayer's Cake. It's a little ways into the city there.
Oh.
I'm more of a manager at this point, but I still like to get.
I look at Lord Durolo. I thought you said she was
She's a baker?
a holy woman. She runs a bakery?
You can have multiple interests and. Pike, yes, I'm sorry to pull you away from your morning goods, but these individuals have come at the behest of Lady Keyleth. They seek the restoration of a fallen friend. She was. Oh, okay. Well, you all seem to be standing okay. Are they here?
Yes.
She's the dead one over there.
Here, now, again, is this what...
Right
Where
on
would
the
you like to
steps.
see her?
Is it all right,
Is
Mr.
there a-
Dorolo? Can we just, like, pop her down
No,
on the
is
chair
there
or
a-
something? Or
Here is fine.
it's nice fabric and stuff.
Right.
And then she's, like, leaking.
She's not leaking. She's not decomposing. You stopped her from decomposing.
That was eight and a half days ago. She
Was it
said.
8.5 days? I thought it was 5 days ago.
It wasn't that long. Probably closer to what she
6 or 7.
Well, I mean, anyone can talk to a god. You just have to go and pray at a temple.
Oh.
Oh, that doesn't sound as exciting.
Lady Keyleth made
But
it
I have
sound
actually
like...
talked to her.
What?
So that-
Oh
anyway,
my god.
that's a long time ago. I'm just a baker now.
Wait,
A baker that can bring someone back to life.
Well, I didn't make any promises. And at this point now, she looks down and, oh no, this poor thing. And she kind of kneels down next to her and kind of like brushes the hair out of Laudna's face.
She looked like that before she died.
Yeah. This is her.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
A little weird, but
She killed once before.
takes all kinds.
She was... were you at the... She died in the tree, and then she was brought back.
Lord Percival goes, she was on the sun tree, Pike. Oh. And you hear a voice from the stairs above. Oh. You see, just having stepped down the spiral staircase to the left where she had previously vanished, Lady Vexalia, kind of frozen, looking down. Percy, was this... Was...
It was you. She was you.
She quickly steps down the staircase next to Pike and kind of leans down. Looks back up at Percy. We have to help them. We did this to her.
You
did. Well, we're the reason she was on that tree to begin with. Darling, we... She stands up. Looks down. Pike, can you... Pike goes, I don't know. How long has she been gone? There's windows of time.
6 days.
6, 7 days.
6 days, okay.
And I cast a spell on her to sort of keep her body, pure.
Okay.
And that's after walking around for decades.
They all kind of exchanges an odd look.
But just so you know what you're working with here, she was different from some of us.
Sure. When she came back to life, she was not quite alive, not quite dead.
Pike kind of looks up at Vexalia, and you hear Lord Percival go, seems her corruption endures. Well, Pike?
Corruption.
Pike goes, I mean, yeah, I can... I'm pretty sure I have... Do you know what I need? Can I get, like, a few... Looks over at Vex, goes, diamonds, yes, I'll be right back. And she...
Shakes out her pockets.
Right.
Hold on.
Yeah, how
Walks off. She says, in the meantime, let's sorry. And she grabs like the big carpet in the middle of the main entryway and kind of pulls it aside, and it just kind of bunches in the corner.
here.
And Percival's like, okay, let's make some space here. And it's been a while. Right. Okay. We're good. Don't worry. I totally have this. It's all fine.
Or
Vex.
Imogen down again and gets right by her ear and whispers, I should have told you guys before. These guys are kind of legends.
This whole thing is very weird.
You hear the heavy footsteps as Vex rushes in. Pipe, my dear, here. Hands her, looks to be a cluster of 4 diamonds of different sizes. They're affixed to other pieces of jewelry. And she takes them. I trust your eye. Takes them and holds them in her hand. And just closes her eyes. A moment passes in silence. Another moment, and you can hear the ever so faint sound of... Is it an incantation? Is it a prayer? You're uncertain. But the drawn out time, the lack of response of anything, begins to build up an anxiety and a fear in you. And Pike goes, oh, no, it's a B, not a C. Sorry. She speaks an incantation. The ground and the sigil around Laudna immediately lights up in this bright, vibrant golden hue. The entire chamber now is just alight with sparkles and energies. A gentle wind out of nowhere begins to whip around, and you feel your hair tossing around, those whose hair can move. You see as Lord Dorello kind of takes a step back and takes a deep breath. Vexalia kind of comes up to his side and holds his arm. And Pike now closes her eyes once more, clutches her holy symbol, and now muttering under her breath, opens her eyes once more, and where you once saw pupils, you now see a bright golden light to match the color of the sigils, just beaming from her face. She begins to speak, she begins to mutter, and you can see she reaches out and places her other hand on the chest of Laudna's cold body. As she does, you see the body begin to shift and lift, drawn from the chest, the arms and legs kind of limp and being left by gravity to sag as the torso begins to be carried up off the ground, where Pike's hand almost lifts her. I can feel her soul. It's adrift. Not yet beyond our reach. That's good, that's good. There's something else here. There's something... I'm trying to reach for her, but it's holding her back. I can't...
Is it Delilah?
Percy? And she pulls her hand back, and all the light vanishes. Laudna hits the ground, and you watch as Pike kind of like sits back a bit, her hand still out in front. Percy? There's 2 souls bound to this body, and I can't separate them. Not like this. Percy steps forward. 2 souls? Yeah. And one of them is Delilah Briarwood. Lord Percival clicks his cane onto the ground. Then it is done. She is to remain gone.
No.
What do you mean?
That's not how this works.
That's exactly how this works. Do you have any idea, any possible notion of what creature you would possibly be unleashing?
No.
Then you are one of the lucky few.
Well, haven't you ever lost someone that you've cared about before?
I've lost nearly everyone I've cared about.
So then you know how it feels.
Yes, and they're all still gone. Most of them, at least.
What do you mean their souls are bound?
Pike goes, it feels... It's odd. They're both connected to each other in a way, and to the body. When you call a spirit back to the body, you have to reach out to the spirit and be like, hey, come back. And then it's like, okay, or no, I'm good. And I can't even talk to your friend because Delilah's there.
Can you talk to Delilah?
I'm not gonna talk to Delilah. Are you kidding me? We're done with her. We're well. And Vex at this point goes, Percy, look, we have to try something. There has to be a way we can do something, right?
Can you get another body? Put another body next to Laudna and make Delilah go into one.
Is that something? Peg goes, that's not how this works. That's not something I can do. Like it's a.
Can we sever the two? If they're tethered together, is there a way to like go in there and cut them apart?
You said you're friends with the gods. There's got to be something you can do.
If I finish the ritual, I don't know which one of them's going to come back. Look, I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. I'm certain she was a wonderful woman. We've all lost wonderful people. But whatever joy or smile she would bring back would be far outweighed by the death, the destruction, the torture, and upheaval that Delilah would bring should she return. I will not stand here and allow this. I will not, in my home, in my city, bring Delilah back, and that is final.
She's been back. She's been back this whole time.
He starts walking away.
What if we could end her for good?
Then do so without my aid. And he continues to walk away.
Please, Pike, there's got to be some way we can...
I mean, I don't... Let me think. There... She looks up the facts. There might be some scriptures and practices of the Everlight that there are rites that revolve around possession, spiritual tethering, exorcism. It's not my specialty. I don't know. I could go look. Vex goes, she could. Darling, please. At least let them try something. Anything. She looks down and kind of like cradles Laudna's head in her hand and looks at her and kind of runs her finger along the ear cuff that forms the pointed elven ear. I mean, we both have some fault in this, don't we? You begin to follow, and Vexalia is still kind of looking down at Laudna, and Pike goes, well, follow me. I can't promise anything, but I can try. Oh boy. She holds her amulet and exits.
I'm going to try to pick up Laudna without Ashton.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll help you.
Okay. Thank you, Lady DeRollo, for helping us in this. I know that your husband wasn't quite so enthusiastic.
He's a complicated man. And you're here on the behest of Keyleth, which carries a lot of weight in this city. And I apologize for his brusqueness. There is a lot of trauma. A lot of trauma that we've all suffered at the hands of Delilah.
She's an evil woman. Laudna always complained about her in her head and stuff.
Whatever happens, whatever occurs here, and I hope for the better outcome, I really do. Nothing's worse than losing someone very close to you.
We understand the history And I understand Lord Derolo's hesitation. We're not asking for something for nothing. If there's blood that has to be paid or sweat shed, we'll pay it.
We'll do anything.
We can discuss once this is over. For now, let's just see how we can handle the task ahead of us. And she just can't take her eyes off Laudna. Like there is a strong focus, and you can see this kind of like weight on Lady Vexalia as she looks at her.
I think
show
important
up
to you
naked?
covers it, right?
I don't know.
It's what we have.
Whatever it takes.
I've not done this before, so
Will Laudna be there? Will we be able to talk to her there? Her spirit will be there.
her spirit will be there. I don't. What I felt was Delilah holding her back.
Could you hear Laudna? At all?
I tried to reach out to her, but Delilah was the wall between.
So, when we go there, are we going to meet Delilah as well?
Yep.
And you fought her before?
Yeah?
Well, how did you defeat her then?
Just be smart. I think she wants to come back.
Yeah.
So,
She said she was fading, that the only way she could come back was through Laudna. I sort of tried to contact her when we were trying to...
her essence is far more diminished than when we, looking back at Vexalia, last tangled with her, so hopefully that means she's not as dangerous as she used to be. Mm-hmm. But she's still worth not underestimating. With this spell, I may have a small, no promises, chance of banishing Delilah from the spell. Maybe for good?
Great.
And Vexalia immediately sits up and goes, then we're doing this. If you can banish Delilah and she's gone, then yes.
Like a sensible one.
How long is it gonna take?
Well, I can, the spell lasts for an hour,
All right.
so I would recommend a little bit of haste.
And how long until it's ready?
I mean, it would take about 10 minutes.
Wow. I don't know if it even matters anymore. But I pull out the gnarl rock shard. We had pieces of this. I had a piece of this, and Delilah seemed to really want it. But I thought, she took it and something happened to Laudna. I don't know what it was. I tried to use it to bring her back. It didn't work. I don't know if you want it.
Pike reaches out and touches things. I'll look into it. Thank you.
I don't know.
The whispers are getting slowly louder. There she is. Get her. The fog begins to roll away even further than that radius, and seems to almost reveal more of the forest around you. Dozens and dozens of trees surround you, and you see a faint bit of color. A distant, gentle orange glimmer. A flicker. A flame. Hit her! She's here! Where? Gather him up. Burn it down! Witch is here!
I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
As you
We're in
step
that.
closer and closer, you see this is... The stone rises up to mimic what looks to be, indeed, a small cabin. It seems like it's pulled together with ropes and thin branches and bits of fallen trees and bark and whatever sort of materials are around it. It is a ramshackle shack here in the middle of these woods. And you can see under the porch this kind of makeshift entryway area dangling. There are little trinkets and look to be bones and tools, and that window, there's that little kind of warm light flickering within. As you close up quickly and look inside, and this is a small, shack. You see a quaint interior. You see scrounged trunks and branches and moss that are all put together to create the roof. It looks like it might collapse with a soft wind, but it also, you have to remind yourself as you look at the details, this is all made of that same kind of rock. Glancing within, there is a few boxes. It looks to be like a cot. You see a stone fireplace, resembling the stones maybe gathered from the forest, and within it a small fire burns, which is the source of the glow you've seen. There is a small table and a stool, and there on the table you see a few tools, also made of the stone. Looks like a pair of scissors or like a little knife. You see what looks to be the body of a rat. And you see kind of on the stool this kind of shadow shape, this almost like a black flame that's kind of barely holding there, kind of flickering in and out of existence. That you look for a moment, it almost has a humanoid shape to it. You don't feel like she's there, but you almost make out the shape of Laudna sitting in this shack, making something on the table. And in the same moment, you see deep within this dark, flickering black flame that is this Laudna-like shape that's kind of whipping in and out of your vision. You see this small purple light that just kind of sits in the chest. The whispers get louder. There she is! Kill the witch! Burn her! Burn her down! And you see the flickering black flame kind of and vanish.
We should put out the fucking fire.
Yeah.
I feel like the cabin's important.
All right.
Well, that's
there's
how they
something
would
there.
run. They always ran her out of town.
I do have a stick of dynamite. I could just blow the house up.
No, don't blow the house up.
Let's put out the flames.
We put the flames
It's a dream
out,
house.
she'll
It
come
means
back.
something.
Yeah.
Laudna Dreamscape, Dreamhouse.
It pops out of the ground about here.
It instantly gets hit with dissonant whisper.
Indeed. So was
In
that
his
saving
head, it hears, you fucked with her in life, you're not gonna fuck with her in death too.
Okay.
Well, I spit in my hand. I just kind of rub it together, and even though it's water, it still looks a bit like fire, almost like a blue flame instead.
That's cool.
Fire
That's
water.
And it just a little bit shoots out of my hand, but then when you see it sort of go up,
Immediately, you watch as this tiny spark of kind of blue roiling flame just swoops down, and this incredible, this crashing wave of surf out of nowhere hits the ground and washes up over this entire hut. The burning flames immediately are put out across the board, and the partially damaged hut, while drenched in water and some of the interior elements may have been shifted around a bit, you watch as the whole hut kind of shifts slightly off its foundation, but holds firm. And as the water subsides, you can see it's interesting because the crash and everything, the physics of it look like water, but the edges of it kind of flicker like a blue flame as it slowly kind of dissipates and evaporates. The hut still standing, darkened in some places, but still present.
okay.
Get in there.
Yeah, can we
go
run up
take a
and
look.
go inside? I just call out, Laudna, you're safe.
Are there any books, pictures, parchment on the walls, any decorations other than the ones that we saw?
No, it's pretty bare.
She never spent a lot of time in any place. She was always run out of town before.
Do we want to do this?
Yeah,
Want to look around in there?
she probably. Maybe she went under the house too.
Short rest would be good before we did that.
Yeah.
I could. While you all rest, I could just give a little peeksies. Just go down and,
By yourself?
well, I don't know, maybe that's a bad idea.
I choose not to wait. We're chasing down Delilah, who has Laudna, and who knows how far away she can get. in the amount of time we wait, an hour.
If you need another healing potion, let me know.
Should I just give everyone a little bit of a boost?
This could be a marathon, not a sprint, Imogen. We don't know how big this place is.
Well, how about we get another?
One more leg.
I'm good. Let's go.
What if that's a bad idea?
You see some more of these trees, and then beyond them, maybe about 30 feet from where this tunnel is, a wall, partially crumbled. Beyond that wall, you can see what looks to be the rooftops. And then not far beyond them, a massive, leafless tree with hundreds and hundreds of bare branches looming over this shaded city with a faint bit of green light just drifting out like a mist, filling the city and lighting it from underneath.
Hey! Hi.
Oh no.
Oh no?
I mean, this is Whitestone, right?
I thought so too.
Yes,
See,
it is.
that's what it was
yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
Yeah, that's what I was
Similar.
saying.
This city
Mostly 'cause you
is
would
in the
crush me,
state
but-
that it was when Laudna lost her life originally. There's a lot we have to contend with. She said there was some messed up stuff in town, right?
Yeah, man, I don't know if we're,
Well, this is like a moment in
are
time.
we in dream space? Is this is this
Like a
Delilah's recreation? Is this
Snow
Laudna's
globe of
recreation?
time.
I mean, our first stop is probably the tree.
Yeah, let's advance on the tree.
If that's a perfect mirror, yeah.
But we don't even know if
It
what
might
we're
be
dealing
a
with yet.
skewed version. I mean,
But
obviously.
they'll have a better idea of what we're dealing with.
But I mean,
Even
when Laudna was in that forest, you know, people would chase her down. It wasn't crazy fabric monsters made out of darkness that came after her. It was actual people. So I don't think it's a one-to-one trade-off here.
You're
Can we
looking
see
for a
the
window.
tree from here?
You can see the tree from here, but it's a
Still
ways
very
off.
far?
It's neighborhoods away.
Well,
The crack in the bone begins to bleed. Where are you going?
Should we take a little sample of it?
Ooh. You know what? I am gonna get a little bit of it in
Of the blood?
in a vial.
Okay.
I don't know why. But
Just to
It's
see.
imaginary
There's
soul
not usually
blood.
blood in a bone.
What if it's Laudna? What if it's Delilah?
Okay.
Okay.
Chat, when you saw who you saw in the house,
fucks around us because
did it look like Laudna? What exactly did you see?
It kind of looked like Laudna, but it was all shadowy. It had the posture down, though.
I feel like we're on the roofs. We're gonna be exposed.
That's true. That is a good point. Let's just keep moving. Let's back up and go around another house. Let's find another path.
Or bounce down.
I wonder if the pathway's being opened or controlled by Laudna, and then Delilah's constantly trying to block it, like they're fighting for control.
Concept.
It's about this time that you hear a young voice speaking down an alleyway. From where you just emerged, you see this small slip of space that could barely fit Ashton at a side shoulders positioning.
What does it say?
What kind of voice?
Sounds like a young boy.
Young boy.
You getting anything off that? That's a lot of distance. If you're okay with that, that is everybody very far away.
See you.
Yeah. Can everybody just back up and
Yeah,
move forward?
You reach out and you sense presences, but they're not minds. They're not singular minds that you can necessarily connect with. It's odd. You feel they're there, but once you try and connect, even that surface passing by, kind of gliding your fingers through their thoughts that you're used to doing in, crowded spaces, it's like it's empty or not fully material. You do hear, now that you're a little bit closer though, the young boy's voice say, "Well, I've been noticing you following me lately, Matilda. Why is that?"
Do I see a little girl around?
It's coming from beyond, like where this alley stops into a small area ahead.
Matilda. Can I sense a presence from that little boy? Can I sense a thought pattern from that little voice?
In that direction, you sense one, yeah.
I'm just gonna reach out with my mind. Oh, I can't.
You hear silence, and then hear him. It's okay, just making the other boys tease me on it, you know. Matilda, do you want to play a game with me?
Can I wave everyone forward and start creeping forward and see who he's
Roll
talking
stealth
to?
check. You see this young boy, kind of a shaggy mop of red hair that, you know, just barely hides the top of his forehead. His eyes peek through with a little smile. He's wearing standard, not pauper clothing, but nothing noble-like. Looks about 12 or 13. And you see standing across from him a flickering shadow, a feminine form like a young girl with a small purple glow in the chest. And the boy looks to it like it's listening. Oh, come on, it'll be so fun. All the proper city kids play it. So a farm girl like you would really like it, I think. The shadow just kind of flickers again for a moment.
Can I reach out with my mind? Laudna. Can I try to talk to her?
You hear a voice in your head. Very young. I don't know if I should say yes. I like him, though. The boy goes, it's called Secret Treasures. And he kind of reaches into his pocket and pulls something out in his hand, looking towards the shadow.
Don't trust him, Laudna.
Why?
Laudna.
He's inviting me to play a game. That's nice, right?
Laudna, tell us how to find you. Come home.
But I like him. See, I found something that I think is perfect for you. A treasure, and I want to give it to you, but first you need to tell me a secret. It's okay, you can tell me, and he steps in closer to the shadow.
Laudna, don't trust him.
It's odd, because you just see this kind of like, this twisting, like black nether material that just kind of, as it flickers through, like an occasionally fast and occasionally slow whirlwind of darkness, you can see it where it meets its limit. It is the shape of a little girl. And you still see that like pulsing purple heart in the center of its chest. And in that moment, it seems to almost look to you. And it looks back at the boy and then takes a step back. He goes, what's wrong? It's just a game. Come on, don't you want your treasure? Looks back at you. Steps back again from the boy. Well, come on, take it! And he goes and opens his hand and throws a fistful of dirt in her direction. And she ducks out of the way and then dissipates into the wall behind her. And the boy goes, little shit.
Can I perceive anything off about this kid? And if we've been looking at this kid for a minute out of combat, can I get a sense of its hit points in relation to mine and its armor class in relation to mine?
Can we see where Laudna drifted into the wall?
Matilda.
Matilda drifted.
You can. You can. Do you want to? You see the wall where she's drifted into? Yeah.
Was there any kind of mark left where she passed through?
It's hard to really tell much of a difference in this wall. The texture and the color is so muted and odd that you don't see any particular signs of where she may have gone through.
I'm just gonna reach out with my telepathic connection because I made a connection with her. So I could keep it for up to 7 minutes, 4 miles away, if she's still around.
Okay.
Laudna? Matilda? Are you there?
Yeah?
I want to find you and help. Can you show me the path?
I'm just playing by myself.
Where are you?
I'm playing in the barn.
What did you say?
The barn.
The barn.
The barn. Is that outside of town?
Usually. But not today.
Maybe,
Like in a dress.
maybe you should tell her to not go to dinner at the castle in the future.
That's a good idea, friend.
Like 10 years from now?
Can you see the tree, honey?
No, the tree scares me.
What does the barn look like?
What does the barn look like?
Well, it's kind of red and it's tall. It's got big doors on it. I'm up at the top of it. There's a ladder you take, and I made some dolls.
Or can you hop up? See if you can find a red building. I don't know.
Red
It's kind of colorless here.
See if there's anything that looks different. Might have lights going on inside, something like that.
Okay. Guidance. That way.
Let's go.
Blocks. I'm gonna stay up here.
Go.
Okay.
Coming up, honey.
Here in this hayloft, you can see scattered across the ground a bunch of drawings. You see a little blanket. You see a lantern that the wick is just lit ever so faintly to give like a soft glow to the interior. On the ground of this area, which looks a little more dilapidated than you expected, but still functional, you see a spread of tools, like small tools, a cluster of rough but charming homemade dolls. They're made from twigs and hay and whatever can be found, kind of scavenged. One that looks like a little person. It looks like a dress that's wrapped around like a little girl doll. One that looks almost like a bird with a bunch of scavenged feathers jammed into it haphazardly to kind of form the wings, but it just kind of looks like a ramshackle bird. And then another that looks like a bigger, taller woman with looks like jewelry has been placed over it. And as they're kind of laid out on the ground, one of them kind of lifts up, and you watch as the shadows from just beyond the lantern light begin to form up into a shape of an even younger little girl. Maybe like 3 years old.
3?
It was made of flickering shadow. That same kind of small purple light in the chest.
Is she shorter than me?
Right now, yes.
Oh.
And at that moment, the kind of shadow girl picks up the larger one and kind of looks at the two and starts moving them towards each other.
Hey, Matilda. Hey.
The shadow form looks and acknowledges your presence.
You by yourself here?
In her head, she hears. Who are the dolls, honey?
I made a nice woman, and I made a bird that can take me away from here.
We can be that bird for you. We can take you away.
Where will we go?
Home. Somewhere safe. Is there a mean woman around here?
Yeah,
Do you know where she is?
she won't let me leave.
Have you seen her lately?
She's sort of out that way. She points off the opposite side of the open hayloft door that just beyond me you can see there's the edge of the shape of the massive tree. But you can make out to be like a family of 3, like a mom, a dad, and a little girl. One of them looks like a You can't tell if it's like a dragon or a snake with wings, but it looks like something that is traveling over the sun. You see one that shows her like a little girl, like her, with just a very sad expression on her face. And you see one that's just black, dark scribbles on the page. Just this kind of voided hole.
Matilda? Can you tell me about this drawing? It's interesting. What were you thinking?
You hear in your mind. That's what's beyond the city. That's what everything is now.
Have you tried to leave?
The tree won't let me.
You're gonna come with us, Matilda. We're gonna go. Would you like that?
You hear. The tree won't let me.
Yes. Silent Orem silently points up at the light.
Yes.
I'll follow.
Stop. We
What is that thing?
We go.
We're getting more information. I think we have to go.
I think we're waking her up.
I think she's already awake. Look at this.
Awake the whole time.
Not that one. We're waking up the other one. That's the problem. I think we keep finding the solution.
Did you detect? You could hear her thoughts or no?
Yeah.
It's not for her, it's for
I'll
us.
reach out. Did you run?
And you hear Laudna's voice respond, older. It sounds like her, maybe a little younger than you know her as. But... Oh, hello.
Where are you?
Who's this?
It's Imogen. I'm a friend.
Oh, I'm very busy right now. I'm getting dressed.
Oh no.
Don't you do it. Don't fucking.
Are you going to a dinner?
Yeah, are you going too? Who is this?
Matilda?
Yeah?
Don't go.
I'm sorry, Matt. And you feel the connection kind of go cold for a second. The light's still up.
Don't go! Don't go!
Communication.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
We can't change what happened back then. We can only handle right now. That's a distraction. We should go.
What are you saying?
I'm saying we can't change what happened.
If we can just keep her away from Delilah, maybe we can. Maybe Delilah will get stronger the closer that Laudna is. I don't know how it works.
As we keep...
I put it on.
All right, so we're not going in there.
Should I go in?
I kind of want to, but...
I'm gonna go in.
Of course, we want to. All of us want to, but we shouldn't. Should we?
One more thing of
You.
Laudna.
It smells nice. Like it smells. It smells like a perfume.
Rosewine.
It might be me.
Let's... The barn tried to eat everybody, I'm just saying.
Oh, we got a necklace.
While the others stay outside.
You going in?
I'm going in.
Let's do it.
As you approach and glance inside, you can immediately see what looks to be like a very modest farm home interior, complete with like a warm, crackling fire on the hearth. There's an old cabinet that's not full, but there's definitely like some piles of dishes in there, some plates and cups. You can see a sun-bleached rug that kind of denotes the center of the room, alongside a small dining table where the chairs, 2 of the 3 chairs, are turned towards the center of the room. Sitting on each of these chairs, you see a kind of an older, motherly-looking woman in kind of a nice, kind of pale green dress with an apron. currently taking the apron off and is sitting down and pulling what looks to be something off of the table. In the other chair, you see an older man with black hair that's kind of salt and pepper with a kind of big gray beard that looks like it's aged faster than his head did. He is tanned, rough hands, and looks like he's trying to get into an ill-fitted, nicer suit than he's used to wearing, and he's just kind of like getting prepared. And you don't hear anything, you just see them kind of talking. You see their lips moving, and the woman kind of reaches over and takes a folded outfit, it looks like, a piece of clothing, and holds it outward. In the middle of the room, you now notice there is a flickering bit of shadow in a feminine teenage form.
Parents are sending her off to the dinner. Or they're going with her.
Parents going to dinner as well?
I don't think so.
Whatever you're gonna do, do
Just
fast.
touching the glass.
I hear wood
Imogen.
moving.
Matilda? Matilda?
You see the shadow form kind of accepting this, what looks to be like a nice shawl and like a blouse, a simple blouse and a dark skirt, kind of unfolding it a bit and holding it and looking at it.
Can you hear me?
The shape kind of looks over in your direction. Oh, hello, it's you.
Something bad's gonna happen. We're gonna help you, okay? When it starts to get scary, you just come find us. We're gonna get you home, okay?
You see the shape kind of look up at you and kind of like almost put a hand up to match yours across the glass. You see the mother kind of stand up, get a bit huffy. The voices kind of elevate a little bit, and you could hear some of the conversation. You can now begin to make out what was just low mutterings through the glass. Now the woman's going, well, we have to be ready soon. They're not going to just wait for us. Come on, put it on. We have to go. This is the best dress I have. I gave you what I could wear, but you have to make us proud. The father figure kind of stands up and begins to finish putting on a tie that you see is fumbling with, and that's right, Laudna.
Laudna. What? He called her Laudna. Is that her mom's name?
Wait, what? What? Got a deal soon. What? This is gonna go bad soon.
Oh. Oh.
She's breaking. Let's keep her going.
Oh, do we go? Do we go? Do we stay?
Should we knock? No.
I think all of these creatures are not. We'll have to fight them if we break the vision.
Okay.
Tell her that.
Tell her what?
Everything's going to hurt.
The mother is now behind the shadow figure of Laudna and helping put the blouse on, getting the skirt ready, and goes,
They're not her parents.
my beautiful Laudna, we're getting you ready for this.
Wait, what? Tell Laudna they're not her parents.
Matilda. I need you to remember it's not real. This isn't real. I need you to remember who you are. Remember us.
You watch as she takes the dress is now on her. The figure kind of looks out towards you, looks at the parents, and then turns and heads back into the house and begins to vanish up to what looks to be a distant room. The two parents kind of look at each other, kind of dumbfounded and angry, and then both of them
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
look towards you at the glass. with this like faint green sheen through the eyes. What do you do?
Delilah. We're coming for you.
We made a promise, bitch.
Ooh. I kind of want to look upstairs now.
Wait, you want to go deeper?
She's still here?
Guys, I think we should go do what we came here to do.
Before we do any more damage to ourselves. Honestly, I'd rather go get rid of Delilah before we have to watch Laudna go through this again.
I think we're gonna see when we go to that tree. Come on.
A flicker of dark purple sparks across the ground. It begins to swirl into a torrent of ominous power that rises and coalesces into another shadowy form. This one, a scattered amethyst being of swirling haze and evil presence, vaguely feminine in form as it stands there before you. Fond memories. Well, interesting to see you all face to face finally. What now? You see that faint, similar coloration to the energy that makes up Delilah's form. That very faint purple glow embedded deep into the trees' canopy boughs. You see almost like a cage of the branches wrapped tightly around a space, forming a boundary of some kind. And that glimmer of purple energy within.
Yeah, we've kind of been, watching from the outside, but just a guess, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. You need Laudna to be alive, correct?
She is the most convenient option before me, yes.
Well, we need Laudna to be alive too. So there is a shared interest there. But it depends on what kind of a deal can be struck. Because currently she's not. That sucks for us, but I think it sucks even more for you. I get the feeling, just instinct, you might be short on options.
You know nothing of the options that I consider. I have many paths to walk. And if you decide to continue to push into the space where you have no means of bringing threat, then I'll find you.
While this conversation was happening, could I have mentally been reaching out to Laudna?
If you'd like to try.
Yeah. Are you close by? Where are you?
Interestingly enough, here there's a blockage. You try and continue that connection you've had, but you feel like, at least in the presence of Delilah, you can't quite push through. The force of her here in front of you, between you and wherever this connection would go, is strong enough to where you are obscured.
We think she's awful special. And you do too. May I just ask what you found special about Laudna, or why did you choose her?
Some children have a gift. I found I had a gift for learning. Her? She was one of the lucky to be born with something. But I didn't see that at the outset. She was useful. I had to prove a point. And she was in the right place at the right time. Fate, or whatever you might call it, deigned that we meet at that time. And because of that, here we both are. So, she's special because she's part of my destiny. Look, you try and tear me away, her soul is sundered. You bring us back, we both live. It's that easy. Either you stand here and die, or return and continue the path if you care about her so and bring her back. Or you hate me so much that you let her die, and I'll just find another way. The choice is yours.
So, just to make sure that I'm clear about the whole thing, are you stuck here if Laudna does not come back to life? Basically, we're your only way out, right?
You're the most convenient way out.
Please, I talked to you before. You're fading.
Do you know where I'm fading to?
Where?
Best not to spill all my secrets.
Do you want to play a game called Secret Treasures?
Not particularly.
You could always tell me a secret and we could give you something.
I'm dealing with children. More children. Do you know what I do with children? And she looks up towards the tree.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
You put them up in a tree?
If I look up at the tree, can I see anything? Do I see that purple flicker?
Not at the
Rolling
moment,
great.
no.
I, for one, am sold.
Oh?
Yeah, I think this is a good deal.
Wait, what's the deal?
Well, that, we bring Laudna back and that Delilah gets her ride. But I think we probably need to hear from Laudna, too, which I have to say, kudos. Has been hard to find her in this place. Probably on account of all the moving buildings and protruding ribs and shit. Is she around?
She's around.
Would you mind if we just had a quick word to verify her intent?
I don't think that's necessary in the circumstances, and she's a bit preoccupied.
Preoccupied.
I actually do think it's very necessary.
Yeah, we might have to insist.
Yeah.
If you think it will do any good. I've been speaking with her myself for some time, and we've gotten along just fine. Laudna, darling. When she looks up, you hear the creaking of wood and branches pull apart ever so faintly, and now you can see that purple glow in this kind of flickering shadow form. Now, the same body, the same shape as what you saw put on that dress in that earlier vision. The purple glow in the chest, the same purple energy as Delilah, and the tree itself almost seems to have like a faint purple glow to it as the branches pull back. She's still held partially within this cage, but is now visible.
Laudna?
Suddenly, you, in this dark space, reliving various elements of your trauma, lost in the expanse of cold nothing, to whatever level of acceptance or struggle that you feel, your vision clarifies, and it's almost like taking a breath. If breath was a thing that you dealt with, you glance beyond the cage-like branches of the tree as they open, and you hear Imogen's voice say your name.
Laudna?
Imogen. We're gonna get you home, okay? I forgot how much I hate it here.
Can you get out? Can you get out of the tree?
I think that depends on you, darling. I need you to fight her. I need you to fight her. I haven't been able to fight her for 30 odd years. We're here now. We'll help.
Can we all hear her? No.
Branches.
Is she less than? Is she 30 feet away?
She's more than 30 feet away.
Is she like 150? Like how far away is that?
About, I'd say, 90 to 100 feet from you. It's an upward angle of the distant part of the tree.
Okay.
As the branches begin to close, you can step away.
Oh no!
You were the DM. You could have said Delilah turned into a fart.
Too late! Too late! As the branches close once more in the tree, Delilah raises a finger. That's unsporting.
Did she hear any of it? Could she hear my thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Delilah Briarwood. We're gonna sunder you.
And I'm gonna psychic lance her.
Yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Okay. You watch as the spirit, the arms begin to tense and quake in space, and for a moment you watch as the purple energy becomes a rich, void-like black, and Delilah's spectral form lifts upward with a growl, and as it does, all the cracks in the ground begin to fill with what looks like black tar. She's real pissed at you, Imogen. All these shadows forms up into you and just pierces through your body in multiple directions. As soon as the tethers pull away from you, she raises her left arm again and blows a kiss out in your direction. You watch this kind of like spiral of greenish energy kind of splinter off and then strike the ground where it begins to break. And you watch as 5 skeletons begin to pull themselves out of the ground around you.
Mister, I want you to get up in that tree and go find Laudna. But on the way, throw some shit.
I'm gonna reach my hand out and I'm gonna look past the skeleton and I'm just gonna say, give her back. And I'm gonna cast lightning bolt through the skeleton at Delilah.
All right. The skeleton is barely staying the bolt, kind of like through, and you watch like most of its ribs are destroyed, and it's like one arm is kind of dangling, and it's like its jaw's gone. Delilah, as the lightning strikes through, you watch as she kind of like moves out of the way and kind of almost seems to absorb some of the magic and deflect it.
Can I?
As it strikes her, you do see like her energy flare up, and you see the sun tree's body kind of like flicker, almost like it's reacting in the same way. What are you doing?
Okay, I am going to. You're just gonna see Imogen's eyes flicker red, and my arms are gonna flare up. And I'm gonna call Ruidus.
What does that mean?
What?
Oh, okay.
What?
Call Ruidus?
I'm gonna take 3.
Okay, go ahead and roll for damage. To yourself.
Don't know.
It's got secret shit.
It's a lot.
As the lightning bolt leaves your fingers, and you watch as the strike goes through, and that moment where the form of the lightning itself, the arc kind of begins to fade, it pulses a second time, instead with red energy that just cruises through. You watch as the bolt designs, the like marks up Imogen's arms suddenly flare a deep red, her eyes flare a deep red, and the secondary strike impacts Delilah. You watch as her body like takes the hit, and the sun tree itself also like flares angrily with purple energy, almost like you struck her and the tree reacted.
Oh!
The tree
Yep.
just swallows Laudna into its trunk. And you watch as purple light just kind of flares from the tethers as it pulls her in, the branches creaking loudly as it just takes her in.
I am going to cast Scorching Ray at the tree.
Which parts of the tree are you aiming for?
I want to aim it sort of near where I think Laudna is, but trying to sort of carve some... Ooh,
I'll say specifically, there's the boughs, there's the trunk, and there's the roots.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's true.
Your first ray strikes the bottom of the roots, and where the flames are, they catch and begin to burn and crackle. You can see the dried exterior of the tree beginning to blacken, and some of the roots that you've seen shift and tear through are starting to retract slightly.
Is anything happening to the top of the tree?
Not at the moment, no.
Fuck. Should I do it?
Go.
Okay.
Go. There's
Okay.
no time
I'm
for
gonna do the
timidness.
top of the tree. What's Delilah doing? Was she affected
You glance
by
over,
that?
and with the second impact too, you can see the kind of confident form of Delilah also kind of like you strike in the roots and you watch the bottom kind of flicker out. You strike the boughs of it and the flame catches, and you watch as part of her shoulder kind of flickers out a bit too.
Okay. She is the tree. So I will shoot for the bough of the tree again. And as I do that one, I'm just gonna look right at her.
Okay. Just kind of glare, and as you fire the third streaking mass of magical flame outward,
Oh, is this hurting you?
it strikes on a large branch, just slams onto the ground, Ash, and you just barely, it misses you by 5 feet. As it hits the ground, burning fire is catching in the top of the tree, and glaring at Delilah, you see this kind of glare in her eyes as she and you see part of where the hair, the weird ethereal portion of her head and her hair begins to kind of untether and begin to flicker.
I'm gonna
So good.
use a sorcery point to double my distance,
Okay.
and I'm gonna try to blind Delilah.
As the magic kind of glides to her face, she wills it off and kind of angrily looks at you and
She looks angry.
She's getting pissed.
That's definitely, I think, a pro for burning the tree down.
Yeah. I don't know if I have enough movement to hide from her as well, to get on the other side of that rock like Fern did.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You get there if you'd like.
Run forward and slide down to try to hide behind there as well.
As you carve through and cut past this point, the damage that's now spreading through the trees, the fire is now consuming the upper boughs. You slash your blade as deep as you can. As you cut through, you hit some sort of life main line, remaining tether of the top part of the tree. And as you cut it, you watch as some of the branches begin to tumbling, like the opening of a dying rose that's losing its petals. The boughs are destroyed. Also, Delilah, the feminine form that you saw, she looks back as you hack, and the branches begin to fall, and you watch as the beautiful humanoid woman piercing stare shrivels into a skull visage. These vacant holes where her eyes were, the lips pulled back to exposed teeth, and the skeletal jaw. And green flames flicker where the eyes once were. Get down!
Beep, 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 beep. She's scared.
She's gonna go ahead and cast Blight on you. Angrily, as she finishes drawing the life force from your body, you feel the outside of your skin begin to crack and dry. You feel blood begin to pour out of the side of your eyes, but then the blood itself dries to your skin. The moisture is just missing from your body. And as you gasp for breath for a second, oh, don't worry. This is just the beginning of what I'll do to you. Actually, at the end of your turn, she does have her other legendary action. Just gonna go for you. That's what she would do. It's going to be a 19 to hit.
I'll use that last mode I have to try to make her reroll.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Natural 1.
Oh!
Oh! Why is it the same face?
My eyes are gonna flare white, and I'm just gonna lightning bolt
the tree trunk, because it sets anything on fire that it hits.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
And I've seen lightning bolts split trees before, so I'm hoping that's what this is gonna do.
Sure.
Indeed.
33 points of lightning damage.
Gotcha. How do you want to?
No! Oh!
The tree wreathed in flames, top to bottom, the center trunk itself charred and beginning to catch. Delilah, ready to just tear the life force out of each of your companions, already 2 scattered to the winds. You narrowly avoiding being the next target and shunting you from this realm to help Imogen. What do you do?
I'm gonna lightning bolt the tree trunk, and I'm gonna aim it right at the center of the trunk so I can split it straight down the middle and make the 2 halves crash down.
Okay. The bolt impacts. You watch as it hits the wood, splinters down the center. This corrupt, desolate sun tree gets burned down the center as it peels back. Bits of wood go splintering, flying everywhere. There's a moment where you carve down before there is a blast of impact from the bolt hitting the heart of the tree. The trunk itself finishes dividing entirely. At that point, there is a flash of white. You see for a brief instant that shadow form of Laudna, now pulled free from the center of the tree. You hear Delilah screech, "No!" Shoo! Into white. You wake up. You wake up. You wake up. You wake up. And FCG and Orem, who have already woken up, on the floor of Pike Trickfoot's home in Whitestone. Up as the last of you come to. How'd it go? Did it work?
I think so. We didn't see Laudna get released, but
We came back so fast. I don't know what.
Delilah was screaming. I think it worked.
What do you see, Miss Trickfoot?
Okay, hold on. She grabs her symbol again. She reaches into this side pouch she has settled on the ground that's half cocked and opening a bit. And you can see some materials kind of spilling out. She goes, oh no. Puts it back in her hand and kind of scatters it across the area just along the floor outside of Laudna's body. And then she places her hand out about a foot over her corpse. Concentrating for a bit, you see a soft kind of orangish glow that seems to emanate between the hand and the top of Laudna. At which point she closes her fist and pulls it back, her eyes opening. Okay, I sense that force, that connection between Delilah that I previously saw is heavily diminished. It's not gone, but it's definitely not as strong as it was. She looks over her shoulder, and you see Vexalia, who's kind of still leaning back against the door, looking around, an intense expression on her face of both concern and a hint of relief at your return. Well, if you left her screaming, then that's one thing, is it not? Pike, do you trust this? Do you think this is a good idea? Pike just kind of thinks for a second, makes eye contact with each of you in turn as she glances about the circle. She means a lot to you, right?
Yes, of course.
It means everything.
And you understand that I don't have assurances entirely that this is going to work.
Of course, it's better than where she is now.
Nothing in this life is guaranteed, but we want to try, please.
What does Laudna's body look like? The same?
The same, just as you left it. Peaceful in its stillness, still cold to the touch, but present.
I thought when we went there and then came back, she would be fine.
I think the odds may be now more in our favor, which is great. You did great. All of you did great. So now we just gotta cross our fingers, I guess.
It could still be Delilah?
There's always a chance.
So we gotta see if it's Laudna and be happy. And if it's Delilah, then we're in a fight.
Well, if it's Delilah, and she looks back at Vex again, and Vex goes, we'll handle it.
Oh, shit.
So, I'm sorry, wait, Delilah's soul might come back into Laudna's body?
Vex goes, well, I mean, it's possible. It's always been possible. They're connected in ways that are a bit beyond my reach, but with what you've done, not only is there a better chance that we'll bring Laudna back, but there's a slight chance that we can break them apart entirely.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Laudna is worth it.
Okay. It's back over at Vex. Okay. And looking about the rest of you. So as part of this ritual, I have to reach out to her soul, her spirit. I'm going to need 3 of you at some point to step forward and take my hand and speak to her. When that happens, you may feel odd. You may feel like you're speaking into a chasm, an echo, but I assure you, she should be able to hear you. Just think of something that would give her reason to come back. And I also have to tell you, sometimes the spirit doesn't want to, and there's nothing we can do about that. So if you really care about her and you really want her back, find a way to let her know. This isn't the first time I've done this, and I know it won't be the last. And for the most part, it's worked. So take heart in that. Anyway, she reaches up and grabs her holy symbol once more. Everlight, please. Bring these friends together. And she places her hand onto Laudna's chest and begins to whisper beneath her breath. And you watch as the silver begins to burn up. You watch as the glyphs begin to glow, this time golden at first, but then they fall to a pale white light, almost matching the coloration of Laudna's skin. As that light begins to brighten and brighten, the rest of the ambient light in the room begins to dim and dim, like all the focus is now pushed into the center where the body lies. For a moment, you watch the back begin to arc as the body begins to lift off the ground ever so slightly, her hair dangling past her shoulders and falling to the ground like a dark, unmoving waterfall. Here, the breath seems to almost leave the room as everyone holds it. Even Lady Vexalia across the way can't help but lean forward, focused, intent on this ritual. As Pike closes her eyes, finishes her prayer, and then opens them once more, that bright, pale silver light once again is now glowing out of her own eyes. Laudna, wherever you are, come back to us. Come back to your family. And without breaking eye contact with whatever distant space she's focused on, she reaches a hand out to whoever will take it.
Please. May I? Laudna. I know I don't know you any better than the rest of the gang, but I know your history. You deserve to be more than a footnote in Delilah's story. There are people here who need you. They need your life. And your heart. I don't know what Bell's Hells will be without your darkness, Laudna. Or your light. Please, we don't want to leave anyone behind. Least of all you. We gotta get that blood flowing through your veins again. Please. Come back. And with his free hand, sort of scooches forward on his knees and he starts trailing his hand down through Laudna's hair, and red poppies start to bloom all through her black hair, sort of wreathing her face.
Okay.
With my other hand gripping that coin, I will take her hand and I'll just whisper to her, Laudna, you might not have been, perfect, but you loved escargot and sashimi, and you loved Imogen, and I've always been told that a soul that loves at least touches perfection. You once said to me that the worst thing that ever happened to you has already happened, and now I can say that the worst thing that ever has happened to us has already happened. With you not here, it's really scary. And not the fun kind. Pike said that you might not want to come back, so I'm afraid we can't let you do that.
Unfortunately, the attempt to push forth a spell into another ritual, to a soul that currently is beyond any boundary you've attempted to reach past, you feel the magical energies just sort of scatter, like they hit nothing, like a breath into the wind. You still feel her presence, much like you did in that dark space. But you're uncertain as to whether or not this contribution was strong enough.
I'm gonna put my hand on FCG's shoulder and... Can I?
I'll release her hand, yeah.
I'm just gonna stand behind her head and brush her forehead. And say, you saved my life, right? If you hadn't come into town when you did, I don't know how long I would have lasted. These last few years they've been everything. And through it all, through all the laughter and all the hardships, she was with you. She was choking you. If you come back, I don't know how you're gonna feel. I don't know if you'll feel free or if you'll feel empty. But I want you to know whatever hole she's leaving, I'll be there to help fill it, all right? I'll be there for you. I'm not gonna tell you to come back. I'm not gonna try to compel you to come back because that choice, Laudna, is yours now. No one gets to control you anymore, all right? Just know that I love you, and I'm here. And I'm gonna take Pate and I'm gonna put him on her chest.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Can I guide her?
Sure, I'll allow it.
Oh, no. Yeah. Nope.
Do you have a boat or no?
I used them both.
Okay.
Did you have the D4 for?
I did.
Okay. What's the total?
It's a 7.
It's a 7. Okay.
No advantage on that, huh?
It's challenging, given the fact that this is a soul that is still bound to shadow. Shadow that now is vengeful, as diminished as it may be, and is still in some ways holding your voices back from finding the ears that needs to hear them. But with that final call, you watch as Pike's hair begins to drift upward past her shoulders and kind of undulating, floating in the air. She begins to carry herself up off the ground and begin to lift an inch, 2 inches, 3 inches off the ground, legs still folded in front of her. And you watch as all the sigils light up from underneath. Laudna's dark hair, as it kind of hangs off her shoulders, begins to lift up as well. And as Pike leans forward and places her hand once more on her chest, all the glyphs at once alight and then go dark as they both drift back to the ground. A moment passes. In that stillness, you hear Pike exhale, and under her breath say once more, "Come on, come on." Exalia leans forward. Pike, did it... I don't... She leans forward and places her hand over the front of her mouth, her nose. Is she a real shallow breather?
Oh, she doesn't breathe at all. Most of the time.
She licks her hand and slaps the side of Laudna's face, of which immediately Laudna sits up, jolted awake from the pain.
Laudna, you're back! Are you back? Are you okay?
Is it you?
Say something only, Laudna, now quick!
Uh-oh, she can't speak.
I don't... Have you found anything else out about your mom?
It's her. Take this! No, just kidding.
I'm so glad you're back. Do you remember anything?
I do. I remember hearing you, and I remember seeing you. Seeing all of you. I remember all of it.
Is she gone?
Is she gone?
You don't know?
Is there any physical difference whatsoever?
From what you can tell, no. Not from where she was left.
I'm gonna do a quick detect thoughts and just see if they're, if she seems like she's not too confused or like she's all there.
What do what thoughts do FCG glean from just a passing view of your mind?
Imagine it almost reads like a flip book of all the memories that she was just reliving and going through. Confusion, frustration, elements of regression, a little lost.
Do you need to sit down? Do you need water? There's a lot of water here.
She's still levitating.
No. No.
My bag.
She and Pike both landed on the ground. Which at this point now, while you guys are in this moment of joy, you begin to take awareness back in of the room around you. Pike, which is standing back about 5 to 10 feet from you, Lady Vexalia is at the door with this dark green bow covered in these arced, twisted bits of wood and vine, arrow nocked in it, aimed right at Laudna. Pike, hand out in front, clenching holy symbol.
Who are you?
I think the more appropriate question is, who are you? Pike? Would you have a look? I mean this with all due respect. Do not move. The moment you do anything strange or untoward, this goes between your eyes. And she pulls the arrow back taut, and as she does, you can see these like small, thin brambles kind of spiral out of the arrow's wood and prepare itself. This is just extremely pointed, jagged element that's just aiming straight for you.
I'm just prepping telekinetic shove just in case.
Pike steps forward. Hi, I'm Pike Trickfoot. I just need to check something real fast. Do you trust me?
No.
She's trustworthy.
She's good. She's real good.
Shh. Reaches up and places her hand in front of you, and that same kind of warm energy seems to draw this tether between the two of them for a moment before Pike withdraws her hand. Okay, no, she's, it's her. It's definitely her.
Her Laudna, her?
Laudna, yes, sorry, I should have specified. That's on me. Sorry, it's Laudna. It's Laudna.
Did you see anything else?
I don't... She goes ahead and focuses hard once more. Pulls her hand away. Nope. Just Laudna. Vexalia kind of like... The bow goes slack.
Is she telling the truth?
Well, Laudna, welcome back. My name is Lady Vexalia Derolo.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We took a trip.
Where are we?
We're in what's
Well.
Is that
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not like it was. It's not like it was. It's very different now.
Or you should catch her up. She's obviously missing some pieces.
A lot has happened.
Did you see her recoil?
Now I'm just gonna step between Derolo and Laudna. It was the best chance we had of bringing you back,
Why would you bring me back here?
so we wouldn't lose you, Laudna.
We can leave. We can leave right now.
You don't have to stay. We had nowhere else to go, Laudna.
Okay. I'm sorry.
For what?
I'm so sorry.
You got nothing to be sorry for. I'm sorry.
For everything you all went through. You didn't have to do that.
You're right. We should have just left you for dead and just gone on, checking out the moon.
It's a terrible inconvenience.
How long has it been?
It's been a couple of days.
That's it.
We're gonna get you out of here,
All right.
and we're gonna get back to business.
If you want, you can just close your eyes the whole time we're here. You don't have to look at anything. All right? But it is quite lovely outside now. We saw what it might have looked like for you.
Everyone
it's not
saw
the same.
everything.
Yeah, we saw everything.
The place is healed. So have you.
Okay, maybe I'd like to see it. Just a little.
Is that all right?
Pike and Vex nod. All right, boys, stand down.
Still a little dazed.
The Lady Vexalia steps forward a little bit and slings the bow over her shoulder a bit. We have technically met, and I should like to speak with you at some point. I believe we do have some things to talk about. But for the time being, you're our guests.
You're very pretty.
So are you. Anyway, we're all quite exhausted. I imagine you're all very exhausted, and we have some guest rooms in the castle if you'd like to stay for the night.
Is that all right? Are we good to stay?
If you'd like.
In a castle? Fuck yeah!
Well, why don't we let Laudna make that call?
Oh, you're looking around like you.
I don't know yet. Maybe we just take it one step at a time. Hi, Ashton.
Hi. Everyone at the castle was really nice. Well, except for one guy.
Let's not jump to...
Right, and to that point. Vexalia! Pike! Do I have your assurance or your authority? Vex steps out and kind of into the view of everyone present, arms up. You have my assurance, darling. The man back there with the rifle. Very well. Vexalia steps out into the light. Pike steps out as well. Do the rest of you follow?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Staying close to
If
Laudna.
Laudna
Yes.
does.
Are you okay to walk?
Take my hand. Just stay close.
Always.
All right.
You all step out, with Laudna and Imogen holding up the rear. And here you see the scattered pale guard and rifle corps kind of taking steps back, weapons down at the ready, but still some of them intense looks, some of them curious, some of them are young and look like their inexperience comes through in that tension that you see in the face of a young soldier who hasn't really faced the danger of warfare yet. But around them, the first thing you see, Laudna, is color. You see a light gray sky with broken bits of sky blue. You see vibrant rooftops and fresh shingles, gardens and flower bushes set at the base of windows. You see a well-kept cobblestone roadway. You hear people laughing in the distance and talking. You see Whitestone as you remembered it. And even brighter. The memories you've held of this place for so long, it's decaying, corrupted, beaten form, the last memory you had of your home, fade. Instead now recalling your youth. You remember running up these streets. You remember excitedly meeting your elders as they set up shop. You remember running out and sneaking in to listen to Keeper Yenen's sermon. You remember trying to sneak into folks' yards and being caught and sent back to your parents with a stern talking to. All these positive memories return to you, which after who knows how long of reliving the traumas, you can't help but breathe cleaner air in the moment. And the thing that catches your attention behind this crowd of people, of soldiers and guards, is the towering, vibrant, bright, green and yellow leaves of the sun tree, in full display, healthy as it's ever been, turning into the autumn colors.
Can we go towards it?
Of course.
Can we get a little air, people?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, come
sorry,
on.
they all kind of divide a bit, and
Do I see Percy?
you do not see him anywhere in the crowd. As you step through the crowd, kind of beyond the southern edge of this kind of open courtyard at the center of the city, as you step out into the open space, and you now have a full view of the beautiful sun tree. You can see the constructed benches and little paths that kind of wrap around its base. You can see the people that were completely unaware of all the tension and danger and odd brushes with the necromantic history of this city, just going about their daily business, though very curiously looking at the large gathering of soldiers and pale guard that rushed the outside of Pike's homestead. But the tree sits there before you. The kind of gentle wind blowing through it, you can see kind of its size is so immense that as the breeze hits it, you can see the waves of wind kind of scatter across it in sections.
It doesn't seem real. Still in a dream, but this one's just not a nightmare.
This gets to be real now.
Are you sure? This isn't one of her tricks.
I'm sure.
You promise?
Cross my heart.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Just don't go far.
I'm right here.
Laudna walks up to it. Actively trying to rewrite the vision and the memory in her head. But it's like the sun tree she knows is fighting. It's almost like it's flashing back and forth. It's like right in the periphery of her eyes, you can see darkness and ropes swinging and the sound of screams. In the dissonance between that and the laughter of children and the market nearby. And it's confusing.
And from that laughter of children, you see 4 kids kind of run past, one of them trying to tag the others as they dart off, a little bit older, a little bit sprier. Looks like a younger sister who is not able to keep up with 3 other local children. As they all run off, she kind of glances over at you and sees you and kind of Hi.
Hello.
You're scary.
It's okay. I'm fun scary.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. She reaches in like this little kind of, almost like an overall front pocket, and pulls out what looks to be like a crumbly piece of bread or some sort of a baked piece, and goes, "Are you hungry?"
I bet my pet rat would love that.
You have a pet rat? That's so cool. Can I see him?
This is Pate.
Hi, Pate.
Would you like to hold him?
Yeah. You can see out of the periphery the three other kids are like behind a part of the tree going like, oh, what the heck? She reaches out and grabs it.
You see the black sinewy strands form as Laudna skitters him around the kid.
He smells funny.
He knows. He's a little sensitive about it.
Hi. Okay, bye. And she kind of lets it go for a second, and then just kind of runs off to join the other kids. Like, who was that? What did you talk to? Ah, she was fun, scary. And they just kind of like run off, and you hear them darting behind the tree out of sight.
As Laudna grapples with this concept that there are these children who are never going to know anything different. She reaches up and she just touches the sun tree. Do I feel anything?
It feels warm. Like a tree that's been in the sun for a protracted period of time. The bark itself has almost a noticeably living warmth to it. As you kind of just take in its texture and that odd connection with something that feels so natural but has so long been an image, a representation of the darkest time in your life. A little orange leaf kind of flutters down past you.
Pick it up. Just kind of press my forearms and my cheek against the sun tree as it's the first warmth she's felt in some time. And she closes her eyes and starts to embody her form of dread. But this time, you see her normal morning veil kind of cracks and crumbles and falls kind of in the same way that the leaf does. And she just takes the sun tree and embodies it. And from onlookers, it looks like branches start sprouting from her shoulders. And you see almost an entire life cycle, a season's worth, or years worth of seasons, as the branches bloom and then wither and then fall. Until eventually She drops it. All right.
You hear the footsteps approach of about a dozen or so figures. Heavy boots. Not intently, but just approaching with purpose.
Wait.
Amongst them is a white-haired, white-bearded gentleman with glasses and a long gray and blue coat, and a rather massive rifle-like contraption slung over his shoulder and his back. Hello. I take it your name is Laudna. My name is Percival Rowe III. This is my home, and I acknowledge that you have suffered much under the Briarwoods.
This is my home too.
Indeed. On behalf of the Duello family, I apologize for what befell you and yours.
Okay.
There's no way to make up for any of it. Believe me, I've tried. But we've done our best. And I suppose you are welcome home whenever you should wish.
I named my dead rat after you.
Excuse me? What?
You have a long-lost cousin. His name's Pate.
Lady Vexalia kind of approaches from behind him, puts her hand on Percival's shoulder and goes, Darling, you're so awkward. Just imagine the circumstances. I mean, we were merely taking precautions.
Have you felt it? The tree.
In what way?
It's warm.
Looks to Vex with a curious glance, and she kind of goes, you're going to make me do a Keeler thing, aren't you? He walks forward to the tree next to you, kind of gives you the look of a parent that's placating a child's request for a moment, but then softens a bit. And places his hand on the tree, looks up to it. That kind of slightly put out expression in his side to his breath. Still keeping a close eye on you at the corner. But then you see he can't quite hold back the edge of a smile that curls to his left lip. Oh, you're right. It is quite warm.
Lady Vexalia, you should feel it too. Imogen?
They step forward, and Lady Vexalia places her hand on the tree. Darling, you really don't really touch the tree. Well, I don't really. I look at it, it's beautiful.
You should touch it.
All right, all right. Pat kind of runs up and puts her hand on the tree.
In your head, you hear, get up here.
Oh. I touched the tree. So warm.
I'm really enjoying the view right now. I don't know if I can. It's just really hilarious.
Come on.
Okay. It's a strong bark, very supple. Oh, yes.
Isn't it magnificent?
It is. Yes.
Lorna just kind of moves her hand over on top of Percy's. I'm sorry for what the Briarwoods have done to you two.
That's what it means to be a survivor. To break the cycles.
To break the cycles.
You Kenneth had a strange habit of talking to this tree.
He talks.
Well, she talks to it.
She talks to a lot of trees. Sorry.
What does she say?
She says it's nice. Yeah. Anyway.
Hello, tree.
Well, this has been a delightful invitation. And to be honest, it is nice to just spend a bit of time. Yeah, because it has been some time.
Lady Maxolia, thank you. I know you put yourself on the line for that, and I don't know how we can repay your kindness.
Well, consider it a gift out of the goodness of our hearts, and a favor that maybe one day we'll call back in.
Anytime you need it.
You know what's funny?
No.
When I was in whatever plane of existence that I was trapped in, I did have pate, and I got to remember and recall creating him, and I think I felt you all there. And that was nice, because I made pate to just have someone to talk to. Bless you, FCG. But not building him again, but still feeling your presence. It didn't feel so lonely that time, and it felt like it rewrote that memory a little bit as well. And it was already a good one, and I was able to have great conversations with him again. He was still my anchor, even there, and I think I was able to take a little of all of your collective essence. Still finding words, and I pulled pate out and take the sinewy strings and kind of collapse them down on itself on top of him and pull him apart and cast Find Familiar.
Yes.
What?
And just like releasing a dove, just
It falls dead.
see what happens. I don't know if this is going to work, and I...
Can it fly?
So you watch as the lifeless, headless body of a rat affixed to a skull tumbles into the air. The string is kind of stretching and breaking, and it arcs downward before the back tears open, and what looks to be a pair of awful-looking, tattered wings that emerge from the back.
Like his rib cage is now his wing.
Oh my god, I love it.
The back.
Orphan maker.
As it flies up, seemingly held aloft by some unseen necromantic powers, as it kind of just hangs there limply. It's the wings kind of... You've not seen this sort of puppeteering before. The head kind of looks up towards the rest of you where it goes, "Oh, hello. It's so nice to meet all of you.
He's real! You can hear him too? You can hear him?
Yes, absolutely.
I goes, wow, that's really creepy. I'm gonna go. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, happy to help. Goes over and, as kind of keeping an eye on this, goes over to Vex and like gives her a hug and kind of whispers in her ear and then takes off and heads off to the bakery. Pate is now, she goes, all right, so it's real nice to meet all of you for the first time. Well, not for the first time, but like really the first time. You especially, you're real nice looking.
Oh, it's so nice. So nice to meet you too. Is it Bate now?
No, he's still Pate. Still,
okay.
You know, but he can fly.
Yeah, he can. Just like a normal.
I can sing.
Right, can.
I can get real randy.
You can sing?
Oh, we heard.
Lady Vexalia goes like, all right, that's interesting. Lovely. Can we not...
Pate, save it for later.
Oh, yeah, right. No worries, but no. Sorry, I don't want to put it all on display for free yet, you know.
Exactly.
Got to build some mystery.
Pate, this is Ashton.
It is so nice to meet you.
Oh, look at you! Look at you!
This is Aurum.
Aurum, you're even smaller.
What a couple of days it's been.
Oh, wow.
You remember Imogen?
Imogen. I do indeed. And like flies up this tiny little rat hand that puts it out and takes it, goes like, yeah, and like kind of kisses it, but like the bone kind of
boundaries.
Ever the gentleman.
We'll have to work on that. And this is FCG.
Smiley day to you.
whoa, what are you?
Yeah, I mean, whoa, you are alive now.
It feels great.
It does. I just found out I have a soul. So.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
And then, of course, Fern, who...
Hello. Oh, hello, Miss Fancy. Hello.
All right, yeah, easy.
Sorry, it's just natural process, you know. Speak for yourself, darling.
Like I'm rethinking a lot of things. And that is Chetney.
Chetney. Hey, buddy. Puts his little, like, rat fist up.
What are you okay?
Yeah, he's still made of bones and rotting.
He kind of snaps a little bit and hangs.
Oh, shit!
It's all right.
I can make a wood splash!
Whoa, this is quite a day, isn't it?
But yes, you know, I do feel like he has a little of you.
He
Of all
reminded
of you
me
in him.
Of us.
I can see
Yeah. Yeah, especially FCG. He was really similar to you.
Absolutely.
I don't like him. I'm sorry. I just am trying to be honest with all of you. He freaks me out, and he flies, and it's creepy.
Does he remind you of Shithead?
He does.
I'm sorry. Maybe this is, you can rework those traumatic memories just like I've been doing.
You return to the castle. You are given fine guest quarters that are beautifully set and decorated with fine linens for the various inns and or cramped spaces you've stayed in for a while. It is a welcome change of pace. Dinner is eventually served. You are called to this fine long table where the lord and lady are sitting, and the scents fill the interior of this firelit, stone-arched room. It is a fine meal.
Lady Vexalia, in her head, she's gonna hear me talking. Before the final course comes out, I can't help but notice Laudna seems a little uncomfortable. And I would like to ensure that it's not not like a lobster dinner or anything. That's what she was served here.
The voice in her head responds, appreciate the heads up. There's a moment after that where Lady Vexalia goes, I'm going to go ahead and check on something real fast. Just powder my nose, and then I'll return shortly.
I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts and see if there's any more invisible people in this room.
There are 2 figures in this chamber that are currently cloaked on opposite corners, just keeping watch.
All right.
A short time later, Lady Vexalia returns. The final call should be up here very soon. A slight delay in the kitchen. Hope everyone likes potatoes.
I love them. They're my favorite food.
Wonderful.
Yeah, potatoes are so good.
Especially as a main course.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yes, breakfast will be waiting for you in the morning. A brunch will be arranged as a continued celebration of your return. Laudna, I apologize if my manners have been less than stellar. Sincerely. We've both been through a lot, and it had been some time since I'd been in the proximity of the source of our traumas.
No apology needed. I'm sorry to be a source of anguish.
As am I. Nevertheless, the hour grows late. I have some letters to send, and some questions to ask. I just wanted to say, sorry for my husband, and also, specifically to you. I am so very sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Because I can't help but feel a bit responsible for what happened to you. And I'm just sorry.
You remind me of the ladies that I used to emulate when I was a little girl. Your hair, it's so pretty.
I know. And she reaches down and kind of grabs her hand for a moment and goes, you need to take care of yourself. You all need to take care of each other, and you all need to take care of her. This has brought me some help and protection in the past, and hope maybe this can do the same for you. She pulls a small band off of her finger and hands it out to you.
To me. What is it?
It's a ring that contains a protective enchantment. I've had it for quite some time, but I think you have more of a use of it in the paths you're walking.
Thank you, lady.
Anyway, I'm going to go drink myself into a stupor.
If you get restless, you can come to our room. Just letting you know.
Yep. We'll see how wild the night gets. And she stands up and kind of quietly gives everyone a nod and a smile. Looks back to you once more, Laudna. Good night. And she leaves.
Hey!
Welcome back.
It's good to be back. It's very good to be back and not where I was. I don't know how I could ever repay you all for what you've done. I feel like such a nuisance.
You're not.
I missed you so.
I missed you so much. You're never a nuisance. And if it happened again, we would do it again. Ends of the earth. And beyond. As it happens.
We're Bell's house. This is what we do now.
We like a real family.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Could be.
It's very pretty.
It's beautiful.
Not sure what to do with it.
Well, I think you wear it.
Yeah. Boy, she really is dim coming back from the dead, huh?
She looks a little exhausted.
I'm still a little confused.
Yeah. I'll give it time.
I don't know if I want to sleep in here. I might go sleep by the sun tree, if that's all right.
Yeah,
Of course.
wherever you want.
Mind if we come with?
I don't want you all to sleep out in the cold.
Oh, no, we just crossed the planet. I think we can camp with you.
Maybe we can take those robes and those slippers with us.
Those are 50,000 thread count sheets. I might pull them out and drag them out if it's
It's
okay.
not a bad idea. Maybe we can.
I'm also gonna take this blueberry pie nobody touched. We're gonna bring this with us.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Camping trip by the sun tree.
All right. So your whole troop is going to camp out by the sun tree. Okay.
Do you want your shit back, by the way?
No, well, I was going to say, Imogen, I noticed you were using the Bloodwell vial.
It's yours.
I mean, it looks fantastic on you.
Sure, but it's yours.
Sincerely, I think you would get more use out of it at this point.
Really?
Also, because, here recently, I think this revigoration of life, I just think I'm okay. I think I'm okay without it. I want you to feel protected.
All right. But if you want it back, you just let me know.
It does have this fancy thing, though, you know. You get a little bit of healing, like in the fit of a battle, like in kind of that wither and bloom thing that I've been doing where I kill the grass. If you do that, you can get all your sorcerer points back.
No.
So,
Thank you. Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay.
very sure. Plus, I've got this fun new ring. A lady wore it. So it made me a lady now?
I think that's how it works.
Is it?
Yeah, you're royalty.
Oh, my parents would be proud.
This one was far less aggressive. More cold.
And you said letters was there. That's amazing.
I was watching, and it was frightening, and
You had the same dream?
I was just watching hers, and it was interesting. More knowledge inside, or power than you knew. Oh yeah, how's your arms?
Nice and
Veiny?
yeah.
What exactly?
Don't make that face, FCG.
No, I can't
It's
make
not
a
like
face.
it's ugly.
My face can't move.
And yet,
It's beautiful.
I also don't want to pry. Like this is your mind palace. Like I don't. If you don't want me there,
I do. It was comforting to have you there.
Well, if that's the case, maybe next time we could bring another friend too.
You think that's possible?
I'd love to go.
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe the horse's name was Flora.
It was.
Jimmy, that might be your finest work.
Oh,
yes.
gosh. Oh, that. Here, Laudna, I'm gonna pass you the potion of possibility.
What's this?
It was the potion. Oh. What we took from Paragon's call. Yeah. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, thank you. It's fun. Do you have any toys? Trinkets?
Oh, we certainly do. Magical trinkets. That's kind of my speciality. That was some of my early training. What are you looking for?
What's your favorite?
Oh, and you see him turn a little red in the cheeks. I was, this is the one that got me in the door, actually. And he kind of turns around and nervously starts going through a small box that's kind of like hidden underneath this stool off to the corner, pulls it out and kind of like brushes it off, opens it up, and pulls out this little intricately carved, like almost like a bright beechwood griffin. Demora. And
What does that mean?
It's the key phrase for, and as he's trying to explain it, you watch as the wings suddenly shore up and begins to flap its little wooden wings, this little like clack, 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 clack sound, and the head rises and seems to make this kind of roaring sound, and it begins to just fly up in the air and do just gentle loops in the air just on its own.
Amazing.
It's cute.
It's not dangerous. It's really fun. Kids love it. They have to play with it, throw things at it, the usual. It's pretty hearty, and pretty proud of it.
You could maybe be friends with your horse.
What's the price on it?
I hadn't thought about parting with it, but
well,
It's honestly just kind of gathering dust in the corner. I would say 70 gold. Just to cover materials and enchanting, time period, you know.
I'll get it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
It's very cute.
Thank you. Been working on it.
I like it a lot.
His Imogen, sometimes these visions predict what, or show what has happened, or predict what could, correct?
In those instances, it's always been.
After.
Yeah. But it could have been somebody else. I don't know, it just felt like him. In your head, I'm gonna touch your shoulder, and in your head, you hear, "Is it all right that I'm talking to you?"
Yes.
Do we need to let Chet know?
I think he'll know. Pretty obviously. I'm letting Pate lead the way.
All right.
We'll all know more soon. Laudna. How you doing?
I'm all right. Thanks to you all. I don't know how I can ever repay my debt and express my gratitude to all of you for what you've done.
There's no debt. None.
Just never wished to be a burden.
It could have been any of us. It was some of us.
We were all, I think, really in the mood for more of you, and since we've accomplished that, I feel like that was kind of the intended goal, and it worked out pretty well. So, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. Would have been worse to do all that work and you decide to stay away.
That would have fucking sucked.
Oh, I forgot about this. This, necklace that we found there. I don't know if this is familiar to you at all, but it's not mine. I just put it on so we could give it back to you.
What is this?
It was a necklace on... Oh, and... What else did I take? Some dolls that you were making.
That's right.
As you go to reach for it, they're not there.
The necklace too?
Even the
The
necklace?
necklace as well.
I'm just.
Your pantomiming skills are.
She's been real distraught since you've been gone.
I
Yes,
have.
talking, gesturing to things that aren't there. It might take a little while.
Yeah.
Stay close to her.
That place was very strange. It was a great necklace. Really beautiful dolls that you were making.
Did you have the powers before her, right?
I did.
She just kind of,
Oh, you had powers before her? Mm-hmm. Oh.
she just kind of focused it.
Oh.
I was born with magical abilities. That's why my parents tried to usher me into a new life. I thought maybe if they harnessed and nurtured that maybe I could, it could be my path into a more comfortable future. That's why they were so eager to shove me out the door to the palace.
You watch she puts her hand out in front and kind of mutters for a moment. Her eyes, her pupils, these like thin, dark pupils across the bright white of her eyes that bleeds into the white of her face. Almost looks like two dark dots, just kind of on a blank mask. And both of them just roll back, and then you just see the white of the eyes, and now it's just this like blank, almost featureless face.
I lean over to Laudna. You should remember this one.
Looks pretty scary, right? Yeah.
If you need assistance, you can reach out to us. Or to her directly, I guess, if you require it.
Just fascinating. That was amazing.
And at which point she looks over and glances at Laudna and goes, Hi.
Two Spider-Men.
Hello?
You're cold.
Is she cold? I was going to ask.
She is not cold, she is warm.
Yes.
Interesting. I like you.
Okay.
What's your name?
This is how everybody talks to and looks at me.
Hunter's Bacon, right? That's the favorite you're undead.
It's a little disconcerting.
It's a little
You sense which one?
Just, it's okay to be honest and just say, I don't like the way you're looking at me.
I'm Laudna, and the way you're looking at me is a little alarming.
I get that a lot. That's all right.
I normally do too. It's honestly, it's rare to put me, a little off.
I take that as a compliment.
Same.
Wow.
I'm just feeling a little strange at the moment.
Yes, you look like you've had a brush with something recently. A bit darker on the edges. A bit withered. I noticed. Ooh, welcome back.
Oh, shit.
And she starts walking away.
As she walks away, do you,
You need a bath.
in her head, did you see anything else?
She keeps walking and stops. She's not even looking at you. She's just kind of like going off into the night, and she stops, and you hear a response. I don't know what you mean.
Something else. Around my friend.
As she kind of stops for a second, and you see the head tilt a little bit like she's considering the question in your head, and almost with a playful smile to the voice that returns to you. I didn't look that far. What am I looking for? What should I be looking for? What's going on with your troupe? Tell me. I like mystery.
Maybe we'll meet again some other time and talk more in depth.
Well, people keep dying around you. I'm sure we will.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, she looks over her shoulder back in your direction, like unblinkingly, just...
We could stay at Shadana's.
Is that right?
I mean, anybody who we know who knows we're in town might be a problem. So it might just be nice to have something that's not
it's a place-
floating and no one's gonna
Sure.
give us
Just sit in the swell.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Alright. It's you.
Actually, before we leave,
Yes,
Worm
yes.
will wander.
You know, I was thinking maybe we could go check out his spice rack and get some of that ginger.
Okay,
He left
that's
us
a
the
bad
recipe. I'm assuming he would like to
idea. I think you're
for
right.
us to have the ginger.
Be careful of traps. I'm sure they're not all sprung.
Heading back out of the chamber. Comes back out to the front door.
I got something. I got something.
You don't have to be so jovial all the goddamn time.
I don't know how it's to be anything else.
No, that's right. I shouldn't chastise you for that. It's part of your charming.
And
Oh God!
it just like ejects these spice jars out of the middle of its chest cavity.
Oh, you got the turmeric too.
Yeah.
Good boy, Pate.
I don't really know spices well, and I didn't have a lot of time, so grab what was out front. I
That's
hope it's in there.
fantastic, and a cinnamon. It's great. All right, get back in here.
While that was going on. I just want to kneel next to Esteros and put my hand on his chest and just say thank you for trusting in us and for giving as generously as you did. I know we're Bell's Hells and Bertrand did bring us together, but I feel like you solidified that, and like Orm said, we're gonna make this right. I'm glad you get to be with your love now.
They're all still single if you ever change your mind.
Well,
Thank you, FCG. It's fine. It's fine.
Long
It's fine.
distance relationships
It's too
are so
late.
hard.
I know you're just trying to be a good friend, but just let things naturally occur.
It's just I feel like
And
if
for
they don't
some,
take the first step,
You know,
it's
you
not-
could learn so much from him.
and for some people, maybe they're just fine being themselves. They don't need someone to complete them.
That's very wise.
Yeah.
It's very wise.
you're alive. Hi.
Oh, that's right.
Whoa.
You were a cargo last time.
I was cargo.
Well, no.
Precious cargo.
Yeah.
cargo.
How did you transport me? I actually haven't heard that.
Ashton
I wrapped you in a thing
Like a gift.
Like a baby.
or
Like
you
a
know.
dead baby.
Yeah, we took every consideration, and they were very gracious in your transport.
There were a lot of people making sure nothing bad was going to happen.
We also
There was many.
took all your stuff. Do you want your pearl of power back? Are you good?
Honestly, you feel like you can have it. I
Okay.
don't think I ever used it once.
Okay, good.
But either way, super glad to see that you're alive and back with us. It makes it a lot easier for, where if you want to rest, we don't have to put you somewhere. You just go find a place and put yourself there, which is much easier on all of us in the crew. So, yay!
Yay.
While we were
Happy
here,
Arbor Day.
Laudna, I hand you a giant bag of gold. I was saving 3,333 gold for you from the hoard that we got.
It's a lot of gold.
Yeah, well, it's what you, it's your share.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I've ever seen that much money. Ever. That's, I don't know what to do with this. Thank you. Yes.
You feel more like yourself?
Feeling a little bit better, yes. Thank you.
Glancing in that space, you see the normally dark, ruddy shape of Ruidus is in mid-flare.
Imogen?
While you're resting in the middle of your sleep, what are you dreaming of?
Oh, That's wonderful. I'm dreaming of Laudna and I in a hut outside of one of the towns that we stayed outside of for a couple of weeks. And I guess it's because of the cookies that Laudna just baked, but I'm dreaming that we're baking.
Okay.
Did the flare happen while we were awake?
For any of you that were conscious and above, as you are in the process of kind of stoking the flames of this oven within a hut, and as you know, to cook something within a hut, which is generally made of like flammable thatch, there's a very enclosed, smaller, kind of, wood-burning furnace type of a thing there. And as you kind of reach in and push for it, the heat gets really intense and you kind of pull back as the heat on your face is extreme. And as you kind of pull back, the whole room, all the candlelight went from orange to a deep, deep red.
I'll look for Laudna.
And you look around and Laudna's not in the room, but the door's open. And outside of the hut, you just see a red cloud.
You have control. I'm gonna step outside the hut.
Okay. You step outside the hut, and there the storm is around you. You can hear the impact of it, the hut itself creaking and elements of it being pulled away from the sheer intensity of the wind. You can just barely see the shadow of a shape walking in the storm away from the hut and away from you.
I chase after the figure.
You chase after the figure, and you run, and you see the kind of darkened, clothed shape of what looks like Laudna, the dark hair kind of moving into the wind, just still walking away from you.
No. Laudna?
No response, just keeps walking.
I'm gonna will myself to move faster.
Okay. You will yourself move faster, and as you're running, your feet begin to just kind of scrape and almost leave the ground, like you're occasionally touching with the tips as you kind of glide in a forward motion to where within just a brief moment you are right at the back of this figure.
Laudna?
Do you reach out and touch it? Mm-hmm. You touch it, and it spins around, and what was the black outfit of Laudna turns around. Instead is a darkened, ruffled cloak. And you see what you thought was Laudna's hair blowing was tattered shreds of some sort of almost looks like a funeral shroud or some sort of a deep midnight cloak. And as it spins around, you see this scraggly hair in a lavender-like color. And that memory that unlocked, you immediately recognize this to be the face of your mother. As she looks back to you and goes, "You need to run." As you see into the face of your mother saying this, she steps back and the wind just whips her away, but almost like she was just strips of cloth. Like as soon as the gust hits, it's like the cloak was all that was there, and you watch it vanish into the storm. You glance up and peering through the top of the dust cloud that continuously consumes the landscape around you, you can see through it, like it's piercing beyond the limitation that it sets upon your vision, the bright, flaring moon of Ruidus above you.
What do you want?
No response.
Odahan? Are you here?
Nobody seems to be present, just the sound of wind. Strong, dangerous wind.
I'm gonna reach out my hand and I'm gonna lightning strike the hut next to me and just destroy it if I can.
As you reach out your arm, all the weird designs on your body, the extended kind of tendrils of energy that seem to slowly move across your body, completely fill your arm, and the bolt strikes outward as it arcs across the outside of the hut. You watch it begin to burn and darken, and as it immediately burns up, the wind carries it away like the cloak but a moment before. And you watch as the flames and thatch just dissipate into the storm.
I'm gonna kick up and fly up into the air.
Okay. You head up and watch as the dust around you begins to subside slightly, further and further, that glaring moon above you. And you can see the darkness of the stars beginning to come closer and closer. You just concentrate on the moon.
Yeah.
A few moments later, the bright, shining light of the flare dulls, and in that moment, your ascension slows, and then stops, and you begin to fall. Faster, and faster. The dust storm begins to pick up again. Faster and faster you plummet, your hair pulling around your face. You begin to spin uncontrollably as the wind begins to kick you around. You fall and fall and fall. You spin and see the ground come towards you. You wake up.
I'm gonna cast Sending on my mom.
Okay.
Are you there?
Imogen?
What? Are you all right? Another dream?
Yeah.
What's going on?
No, I had a dream. And it was awful. Normal, whatever.
Okay.
I saw my mom in it, and then...
You saw her?
Yeah.
Like a physical form?
Yeah. And then I just woke up, and I just tried to send her, talk to her, and she responded.
Okay. She did. What did she say? More context.
She said, Imogen.
So she's alive?
I mean, she's got to be, right? If she's responding, she's got to be.
I mean, this is wonderful. Maybe she's at Eos. Maybe she's. That was where she was last seen.
I should send her. I should talk to her. I should send her something else. I should find out where she is. I should.
Can you send messages across other dimensions?
I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works. I just.
This whole time, what if she? It's been her in your dreams.
Well, I mean, I've always heard her voice.
Oh God! Oh God! Fern punches in her sleep sometimes.
I think she's awake.
All right. Well, yes, as you say.
Send her a message.
What do you want to say? What do you want? Should we workshop this? Should we write it down?
I mean, there's so many things, obviously, but I should probably find out where she is. And if she's safe, and if we can see her, right?
Yes.
Those are the main.
Of course, this is. How are you feeling about it? I mean.
Well, I mean. You know, I haven't really processed that just yet.
Sure.
I'm just gonna.
Here, let me just think about it for a second. I do sort of my usual routine. I go and pour a little glass of nice cold water, bring it over to her. And deep breath.
Just gonna send a message.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Are you all right? Where are you? Are you... Is there... Where have you been? That's all.
Okay.
That's great.
5 extra words. The mod we thought was 10.
Just kind of let the final words linger and hope for a response. The anxiety begins to build in fear that might be the last of it. Then you hear her voice come through again. I'm fine, Imogen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for how long I've been gone. I'm okay. Are you okay?
Why should she just keep asking questions? She knows I gotta keep... All right.
Just wearing it down.
Did she? What did she say? Did she say?
She said she's all right, but then she asked if I'm all right. She didn't say where she was.
She didn't say where she was. That feels like the most important thing that we kind of would like to know. Oh, great, but you're right. It's like one of those weird conversations where it's like, "How are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good." And oh, that's okay. Right.
Okay, last, I can call her, I can talk to her one more time.
Okay.
All right. If I'm being honest, things are hard. You might know that already, though. Where are you? I want to see you. Can I see you?
It's great. It really drives that. Where are you? Doctor. Yeah.
I'm sorry it's hard. I'm sorry for cursing you with this burden. I left because I was a danger. I couldn't stay without knowing what I am.
Did she say? What did she say?
You begin to hear her voice in your head once more. She casts a sending spell in your direction.
She's got powers. She's powers. I don't know what powers. She's a monk.
You can't see me because you need to stay safe. And the further from me you are, the safer you'll be. Far from me, in this destiny.
This destiny has caught up with me, regardless of where you are physically. It's all happening. I could use your help. And your knowledge.
Another sending spell comes to you from her. I love you, Imogen. More than you'll ever know. And that's why you have to run away from me, Imogen. As far as you can. Run.
I'm tired of running, Mother.
She didn't say where she was, did she?
She said she's a danger. But I don't see how she could possibly be more dangerous than Odahan.
I'm sorry. Truly. We're going to find out about this one way or another. Whether she helps us or not.
Yeah.
I just hope. Because I care so deeply about you, that this doesn't open up more wounds and cause more harm than good.
Laudna, you're back. I can't possibly be sad right now. We'll figure it out.
Of course. And I don't plan on going anywhere. Again. Ever.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
You want to maybe go get some fresh air on the deck?
That's a good idea.
I'll walk with you. Here, grab her.
Jeez, I got a post-it note.
Little, oh goodness.
Stop sleeping in the office.
We should really get out of this janitor's closet. It's so uncomfortable.
Everything's falling apart here.
Oh, don't get that.
It's causing all these nightmares.
Here, have a nice little you shrug.
It's chilly up there. You can see on desert, it gets cold. We go up to the deck.
That's gonna get Chetney and Laudna, and unfortunately, it's also gonna get Tirana.
Oh no.
Boom.
Oh, no.
And we'll see if the boat manages to make it
Oh,
okay.
no.
But I need both of you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay.
15.
Lion.
15?
Goat.
You just fail on this.
Just failed.
So that is 36 points of fire damage.
Wait, what?
36 points of fire damage.
14.
14, 36 points of fire damage to you.
Am I within?
I don't even go here.
Imogen is gonna look around and sees all the chaos happening around her, and all of a sudden she closes her eyes and opens them back up, and they're bright red.
Ooh, what?
And as she just closes her eyes to all of it, she puts her hands to the side of her head, and next to her, a red entity starts to form.
Okay. You all watch as this odd little pocket in the air just kind of seems to flare like a spiral of red energy, and as it empties outward, this creature pulls through, made of like red material. It looks humanoid, but it's not fully there. It just kind of like wisps of red energy. It has kind of an elongated head, almost like it kind of stretches back wider and longer than though thin at the front, than a human skull. Like a half xenomorph, if you will.
Do spell.
It's a red panda. It just kind of emerges.
Excuse me.
What do
You can just
mean?
summon something else.
What
It's
do you
semi-transparent, and it just kind of
Okay.
like stands there and kind of like glides in the space next to Imogen.
I'm sorry?
And I'm gonna look over at it and just think at it. Attack.
Looks over at you, like you don't see features. There's no eyes, no face. It's just like red energy that's kind of like wispy and not fully there as it kind of turns back and goes to strike towards the creatures. So go ahead and roll for the creature's attacks.
Okay, so it's immediately anything within 5 feet. I don't know if that counts me. Has to make a wisdom saving throw. So they do
So it just
psychic
holds its
damage.
arms out of the side, and you see like the red energy at the back of the head seems to almost intensify and glow, and as it does, one of the chimera heads like withdraws, and you see almost like a streak of red energy kind of flare off of its head as it does so, and the other head gets hit with another similar strike, and both heads kind of like reel like they just had an extreme pounding headache in an instant. Wow. But it's going to strike the shade once, and then you twice, Imogen.
Okay.
So it's going to go ahead and go for a bite against the shade. That is going to be a 13.
Nope.
Misses. The shade just kind of like drifts backward, almost effortlessly gliding behind as the head just
snatches forward with nothing. The goat head's gonna swing wide with its horns towards you, Imogen. And that is gonna be a 15?
Yep.
No, -4.
Oh.
Or minus a
D4.
Whoa.
-2, so 13.
13 is
Whatever that
13 is your armor class, it
is,
still hits you.
It's amazing.
Damn, that would have been good.
Yeah, I know, that would have made it.
That is going to be 11 points of piercing damage to you.
Okay.
Actually, no, bludgeoning damage, as it just like slams into you with its goat
Oh, in that
horns.
case, it is 11. Okay.
Still 11. And then it's going to go ahead and now strike at you with its claws as well. So let's see the source of this. That's going to be...
With a D4.
Yes. It's a 19 minus...
Oh. It'll hit regardless.
Yeah.
You're right.
How are you looking?
I'm okay.
1. Yeah, so it still hits you. The claws are going to do...
Silver barbs.
Oh, so disadvantage on that, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, you got it. That is going to reduce it to a 13 minus 1
It's 12.
is 12.
Doesn't hit me.
That misses you. The second one does no damage. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's some team. That's fucking teamwork. All right.
I take that silver barbs, distracting it. I'm gonna take and siphon that like mercury-like energy, and I'm gonna pass it over to Chetney. So you have advantage on your next attack.
You got it. All right, that finishes its turn.
That was cool. Ah!
Oh, get away. Just step away from it, Chet. Step away.
Oh,
What is that?
crazy?
I'm just going to tell it to move away from everyone.
What is that?
Yep.
What is this? Is this thing with us?
Yeah, I think so.
But it hurts us too?
Well, I mean, he just kind of hurts everyone.
Now 3 out of 7 of us are hurting each other.
Is he?
Wait.
Is he friendly? I'll go over and try and touch the leg.
Oh, you go over and touch it?
Yeah.
Your hand passes through it. It does have some resistance, but it passes through it like it's partial material. It's almost
Cold
ethereal.
inside.
It doesn't have a temperature beyond the air around it. The whispers that are in your brain
7 points.
strike through, and it becomes this threatening assault of hundreds and hundreds of thoughts and emotions all at once, and you guys watch as Chetney's nose begins to bleed.
Step away from it, Chet.
Okay, that's
Do they just stay? What?
Yeah, what happens now?
What is this?
I don't know. I've never kind of done something like that before.
I kind of want to hit it, but I also like if I hit it, does it hurt you? Like, does it go? Do you swallow it?
I don't think so.
How did that even?
Make it go away. Make it go away.
I'm gonna tell it. Can you leave us?
It folds back into that same spiral space of energy and is gone.
Did you raise your hand earlier when we were talking about people that would fuck up the entire group?
I did actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's incredible.
And they flew off into the sunset.
Wow.
So you don't.
I don't know exactly where that was from. What that was.
How did you know to do that?
Yeah, did you try to do that?
Not exactly.
I feel like every time we have like an intense fight, you somehow have like find a glow up. I don't know. Like every time you bust something out. I'm not complaining. In fact, quite the opposite. But wow, holy shit.
Yeah, you fly, especially on ships. On our
Oh
airship.
yeah, maybe I should just stay on an airship forever and I
God.
become all powerful.
Oh my
Defeat
God.
Thul immediately.
Every time you would fight on the airship, you get a new thing.
That'd be awesome.
Is that is it a gift from Ruidus?
Or, I mean, it did have some weird. Like the color.
sure. I
Kind of
don't
looked
know.
That's a fair.
like a flare.
It was kind of
Body
cute.
flare. It was really cute.
Do you have? All right.
Classical.
The howl is
that do it for you, Laudna?
piercing, and at the same time, you glance over, and in the shadow, all you see for a moment is the flash of 2 yellow eyes, as it seems the light catches something animalistic.
Imogen. So there's something out here.
Something out where?
Outside.
Is it outside or is it inside?
There's a stone wall behind Laudna, and there's a section of stone that is out of it, roughly about 2 feet wide by about 3.5 feet tall. Looks like it's crumbled inward, and a shape just kind of glanced through it and then darted behind it.
Point blade.
It's behind Laudna?
I take out pate. I used to do this with you all the time.
Yeah?
Do an interpretive dance for me. Make a little shadow puppets on the wall. Do a little dance.
All right. Just give me a theme, something to work with.
Oh, all right. Well, you know we're in this old tower where there used to be a war back in the Apex War.
Yeah.
So give me a tale of battle and death and horror.
All right. I need some music.
Okay.
It just goes into starts going into this
thank you.
this oddly disjointed, horrifying, but beautiful journey of. No, it's real bad. It's incomprehensible. You can't. At times, you think either he's dancing or he's having a physical issue. You're uncertain, but he seems into it at the very least.